Get it started. Alright. Boom! We in the gym. Welcome to EJ's Gym. A guide to elevate your mindset. I have a special guest here with me today. I'll let my guest introduce himself. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm John Wilson. I'm an old ex-football player from North Carolina State University and played at 3 high schools in the state to get there. Back in the days when people didn't transfer around high schools much like they do now.
Okay. And we can't start the show since we live in person until John puts on the EJ's Gym hat. It's official, we in the gym. Alright, John, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
New Jersey here, and there for the rest of his life, just about. And he hired me, and I went to work with Perrier. You know, sometimes you make good decisions and sometimes you don't.
So, what about that situation?
He was a great guy to work with.
Yeah.
The French were not great people to work for.
Gotcha.
And they wanted me to cook the book, so I said, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, then we don't want you. And they fired me. This is 1 year there. So this is, and at this time, I'm 40 years old.
Really?
I had been fired twice in my life already. And it's like I'm thinking, man, I must be a failure or something. So I just kept working hard until the fellow that hired me at Hardee's was now in Canada. And he was working with Bell Canada, the largest company in Canada. And they were looking for someone to head up their corporate finance department at Bell Canada for their international group and do a bunch of international acquisitions. So they brought me to Canada and hired me. And I went there and did a whole bunch of stuff all over the world. It was interesting. We took a company public, we financed a lot of overseas companies. Mm-hmm. And that led me right to Wall Street. Mm-hmm. And then I went to Wall Street from there.
So what was your title on Wall Street, or your day-to-day operation?
So my title, excuse me, mm-hmm. My nose is running. Mm-hmm. So my title on Wall Street, when I first went there, I was a director, which was about 3 levels, from the top. And then I went to Salomon Brothers. I did not like it. Mm-hmm. I didn't like Salomon Brothers. I liked Wall Street, but I didn't like Salomon Brothers. So one of the managing directors, which is a 1 level higher, one of the managing directors was lamenting that, and it was a woman that I worked with, and it was a woman that brought me in. She said, you know, we can't stay around this company. It's like she was paranoid. So I knew some guys at another company. Mm-hmm. I knew them pretty well, and I talked to them. And one of them happened to be the chief operating officer of the actual investment banking group, and they were looking for some telecommunications bankers, and they needed to build up their business. And so I went to see him, and he told me, said, if you can bring Wendy with you, say you're both hired, and we'll give you a guaranteed salary your first year. I said, I'll get her. So I brought her with us, and we both went to work for Salomon Brothers. I mean, from Salomon Brothers to Credit Suisse, and that's where that my career really began in earnest at Credit Suisse. And we did a lot of stuff there. I did a lot of big transactions. And we put together a company over in the UK that I had actually taken public when I was at Bell Canada. Mm-hmm. We merged them with several companies. It was a big $4 billion transaction. 2 years later, we took them apart, and it was a 25. It was $25 billion when we took them apart. And then my friend who had hired me up in Canada, we helped him get the chief financial officer job at AT&T.
Really?
Yes. And when he got to AT&T, he was there for 3 weeks, and he called me and said, I have a deal for you. And they brought us in, and they wanted us to keep them from getting getting acquired by another company.
Mm-hmm.
And so we pretty much advised them on that.
Mm-hmm.
And because it would have been a hostile takeover.
Gotcha.
And after that, it led to a $12 billion transaction that they bought a company. We advised them on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, right after that, he called me in again and said, we're going to go after TCI. And TCI is a huge company.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a $70 billion transaction.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that, and then I mean, it was like a month after we closed it. I'll never forget, on my 50th birthday, we acquired another company, which was Media One, another huge cable company, a $64 billion transaction. So in 3 years, in less than 3 years, I had already done $146 billion worth of M&A transactions. Most people don't do that in a 20-year career.
Wow.
We did it in 3 years.
Wow.
And to me, it was just like playing football.
Mm-hmm.
It was all the same to me. It was all a game. You have to figure out how to play the game.
I like that. And then before we got on camera, we had a short discussion about transition
Right.
and life after football. Whether you play in high school or college, the game will end. Even if you make it pro, it's an end point to the game. And some people struggle with transitioning. And you mentioned, so let me into your mindset of how do you see life as a game in relation to football?
It's like, remember, I had a couple of big failures in my life, and the way I looked at it is no different than when you're playing football.
Mm-hmm.
In football, you might lose a game, but you don't quit
Mm-hmm.
just because you lose a game.
I like that.
You got to go back to work the next day.
Yes.
And you might not be going back to work at the company you were at, but you go to work finding a way to get a new job. But it is all the same as if you're playing football. It's just a game. Business is just a game. It's a big game, but it's all a game. And moving up the ladder is no different. It's competing with your fellow players. You know, you have to compete with your friends. It doesn't mean you kill them, but you have to compete with them. And you do the same thing in business. And you have to learn your plays. You have to learn your business. You know, you have to learn what makes your business better. You have to learn what makes you better as a football player. So it's not a lot of difference. I mean, you're in different things. You're not in business and playing football are not the same.
Right.
But conceptually,
right.
They're the same underpinnings are there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take your life experience, you know, when you're younger and playing the game, and you can apply those experiences of tenacity, of playing smart. You apply those things to business. Never quitting. I mean, you can apply all those things to business.
Wow.
Being honest.
I like
Being
that.
honest is important in
Really?
business.
I love it.
Telling people the truth.
I love it.
Telling people the truth.
I love it.
Is way better than telling them a falsehood or bending the truth a little bit.
Wow.
Or trying to lay the blame on somebody else. You don't get ahead doing that. There are too many smart people in the business world. You get ahead by being a straight shooter and being honest with people and delivering on your promises.
And I like that. And I'm not gonna lie, Whitney's helped me out a lot, you know. But I learned just to be myself. Is what I'm creating. And I noticed that certain families, they gravitate to me. And just like you, I'm just myself. I tell them the truth. This is what I know. This is my skill. This is my talent. And I notice people kind of, stick to that. Me
Yeah.
being honest and being truthful to who I am.
That's right.
Hmm.
That's 9/10 of the game. Luck is also part of it, but you can prepare yourself to be lucky, right?
Like that.
Prepare yourself to be lucky.
Love
So
that. Listen up.
if you have to be in a business meeting, overstudy. Learn more than
Wow.
read up on the things you might come across. You may never have to use it, but be prepared to use it.
Game planning.
Be prepared. That's right.
Yes.
Be prepared to use your knowledge.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And what I usually do when I interview people, I have a few questions that I ask, and you can respond any way. It's a fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And the first question is, confidence is what to John?
Knowing yourself.
I love it. I love it. Knowing yourself. Okay, attitude is what to John?
Oh, if you have a good attitude, you can get good results. If you have a great attitude, you get great results. If you have a poor attitude, you can get poor results.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And this is the last one that I usually ask. Mindset is what to John?
Well, to me, mindset is all of what, all those questions you just asked me. It's all of it rolled together.
You got it. You got it. You got it. You're the first guest. You got it. All right, there we go. I love it. I love it. But go ahead.
I just wish I was a lot younger than 72.
But you got it. Your mindset is your confidence and your attitude rolled into
It's
one.
all
But what else do you have to add into that?
Oh no, you've covered a lot. I mean, people that are young now really have a dawning future. I mean, we've got a world that's got lots of problems. But if they're truthful with people, they work hard, they never quit learning. You never quit learning.
Love that. Yes.
You can do really well, and you shouldn't have to worry about the future.
Okay.
In fact, you should never worry about the future. It's always going to be there. But you just have to be prepared for what you come up against.